Hello viewers, welcome to Newsweek South Asia, where we will provide you fresh insights into South Asia's geopolitical, strategic and security situation. Let's take a look at the headlines first. Delhi police arrest LET terrorist Shabir Ahmed Lone in major terror bust. Awami League activists flagged right concerns at UN Human Rights Council. And encounter breaks out in Jammu and Kashmir's Ganderbal amid anti-terror operations. A major terror plot has been foiled in India's capital, exposing yet another Pakistan-linked network operating across borders. The Delhi Police Special Cell has busted a Lashkar-e-Taiba module with deep connections to Pakistan-based handlers, arresting 8 operatives across multiple states. The crackdown not only prevented a possible large-scale attack, but has once again highlighted Pakistan's continued role in sponsoring terrorism in the region.
कई जगह की देश में इन्होंने सेंसिटिव ठिकानों की, कई मंदिरों की, कई जगहों की ऐसे जहां हैवी फुटफॉल एरियाज हैं वहां की इन्होंने रेकी भी की थी. उसके वीडियोस भी इन्होंने पाकिस्तान भेजे थे.
In a swift counter-terrorism operation, the Delhi Police Special Cell dismantled a module linked to the Pakistan-based terror outfit Lashkar-e-Taiba. The breakthrough came after suspicious posters appeared at Delhi's Janpath metro station carrying pro-Pakistan slogans, references to Kashmir and imagery of militant Burhan Wani. Investigators say this was part of a larger coordinated effort to incite and prepare ground for terror activities. Following technical surveillance and intelligence tracking, multiple arrests were made across states. While details of other operatives remain limited visually, officials confirmed that the module included individuals operating under fake identities, many of them illegal infiltrators. The key breakthrough, however, came with the arrest of mastermind Shabir Ahmed Lone in Delhi, who had been directing the network.
शब्बीर अहमद लोन को कल रात गाजीपुर एरिया से पकड़ा गया है. अगर आपको ध्यान होगा तो लास्ट मंथ आप लोगों के सामने ही हम मुखातिब हुए थे और आपको बताया था कि एक मॉड्यूल के बारे में बताया था जिसमें 8 लोग पकड़े गए थे, जिसमें 7 बांग्लादेशी नेशनल्स थे और 1 इंडियन नेशनल था, जिसमें उमर फारूक और रबीउल इस्लाम मेन कैरेक्टर्स थे, प्लस जो कि पकड़े गए थे कलकत्ता से. कलकत्ता में एक जगह थी माझर पैरा, वहाँ से पकड़े गए थे. और सब्सिक्वेंटली 6 लोग त्रिपुर तमिलनाडु से पकड़े गए थे जो बांग्लादेशी नेशनल थे. उनका हैंडलर ये शब्बीर अहमद लोन था. शब्बीर अहमद लोन के पास से 2300 रुपये करीब बांग्लादेशी टका, जिसे बांग्लादेशी करेंसी बोलते हैं, वो मिला है. इसके अलावा 1400 रुपये नेपाल की करेंसी और 5000 रुपये पाकिस्तान की करेंसी मिली है, प्लस 3000 इंडियन करेंसी भी मिली है और एक नेपाल का सिम भी मिला है.
Interrogation has revealed that Lone was actively recruiting, radicalizing and tasking operatives to conduct reconnaissance of sensitive locations and arrange logistics for possible attack. What makes the case more alarming is its direct link to Pakistan-based handlers. Lone was in touch with senior Lashkar-e-Taiba operatives and was acting on instructions from across the border. Experts believe this is part of a larger pattern where Pakistan-backed networks attempt to revive sleeper cells inside India using cross-border infiltration routes and local support systems.
These sleeper cells are very, very dangerous as far as India is concerned, because any small incident can lead to much larger ramifications. It is not simply putting a bomb at a temple and 2-3 people being killed and all that. These sort of actions have national ramifications and also international ramifications, and it draws attention to certain it draws attention to India in a very negative way. And then a whole lot of people will come out in support of these groups to say that they are only doing it because they were targeted or because they are being oppressed, whereas that is not the case. They are doing it to destabilize India. And there are many external agencies. The ISIs, of course, the Pakistanis are one of them, but there are other agencies also who want to see India destabilized to some extent so that they can influence Indian foreign policy. That is the larger aim. Pakistan is certainly involved, and they're not going to let go so easily unless we continue to maintain the pressure which we have maintained since Operation Sindoor.
The case also highlights a broader and deeply concerning trend: Pakistan's continued reliance on proxy terror networks to wage an asymmetric war against India. From Jammu and Kashmir to metropolitan cities, sleeper cells backed by Pakistan-based handlers have repeatedly attempted to destabilize internal security. The use of foreign nationals, fake identities, and digital radicalization further complicates the threat landscape. Security experts argue that such modules are part of a larger ecosystem of state-sponsored terrorism where extremist ideologies are nurtured, funded, and exported beyond borders. India has consistently raised concerns on international platforms about Pakistan's role in sheltering and supporting terror outfits. However, repeated incidents like this continue to expose the gap between global commitments and ground realities.
At a time when global attention is focused on human rights, protests against Bangladesh's political climate have reached the international stage. In Geneva, Awami League supporters and civil society groups have rallied outside the United Nations Human Rights Council, alleging a crackdown on political opposition, shrinking press freedom, and rising violations against minorities. Claims that now demand wider global scrutiny. A report.
The human rights climate in Bangladesh has reportedly worsened in recent times, raising concerns among international observers and rights organizations. Reports suggest that political opponents and minority communities are facing increasing pressure with allegations of arbitrary detentions and mistreatment. Incidents of religious intolerance, including attacks on places of worship, have also been highlighted. Amid these developments, democratic institutions are perceived by many as coming under strain, prompting calls for greater global attention and oversight. Protesters gathered near the UN complex, holding demonstrations and shouting slogans against the current government in Bangladesh. They allege a ban on the Awami League, attacks on minority communities, and a lack of press freedom in the country. Addressing the gathering, speakers claim that since August 5, 2024, Bangladesh has witnessed widespread human rights violations, including alleged killings of political workers, journalists, intellectuals, and members of various professions.
Human rights is degrading every day. All the people, secular people, are suffering in Bangladesh. They are jailed. They are punished. There is mob violence with all the open thinking people, all the supporters of Bangladesh Awami League, all the supporters of secular Bangladesh. So we are front of United Nations Geneva to raise our voice against the actual situation in Bangladesh, and we beg to international community to support us and raise voice against actual situation in Bangladesh. Last month there was a IWASH election. Unfortunately, BNP take the power of Bangladesh, but they are continuing the same illegal things in Bangladesh, violation against minority and violation against humanity.
They also accused authorities of carrying out detentions and custodial torture without due legal process. The protesters further alleged that major political parties, including the Awami League and other secular groups, were excluded from the electoral process.
There's a mob violence, mob lynching. There at least at that time 537 people were killed. 213 documented cases that Awami League activists and its associated organizations activists were killed. More than few thousand people were injured. 369,000 people were arrested. 124 MPs and other political leaders, including journalists, professionals, were arrested. They are not getting bail. They are arrested. Somebody were arrested without any warrant, but still they are suffering inside the prison. And the biggest party of the country, the most popular party of the country, Bangladesh Awami League, was forcefully kept from the participating election by a executive order. We came here to raise our voice against that impunity, what's going on in Bangladesh at the moment. There was an election that was not participatory, and the new government has come. We urge that these people who is suffering in the prison, or those people who are not go to their own houses because of extortion and threat, please let them go in. And we want fair trial. We want justice.
They termed the February 12 elections divisive and lacking credibility, raising concerns over inclusivity and legitimacy. The demonstration, organized by human rights and civil society groups, called for restoring constitutional rights, democracy, and the rule of law in Bangladesh. The protest coincided with discussions at the United Nations Human Rights Council, placing the situation in a broader global context. Amid evolving political developments following the formation of the new government, Bangladesh faces an uncertain path ahead, with the coming months expected to play a crucial role in shaping its political direction and governance landscape.
India's counter-terror grid in Jammu and Kashmir remains on high alert, with yet another encounter breaking out in Ganderbal. Acting on precise intelligence, joint teams of the Indian Army and Jammu and Kashmir Police engaged terrorists in a fierce gunfight. The operation highlights a continued push to foil Pakistan-backed infiltration and dismantle terror networks operating across the line of control. We have a report.
The latest encounter erupted in the dense forest area of Ganderbal district, where security forces launched a cordon and search operation based on specific intelligence inputs. As troops advanced towards suspicious movement in the upper reaches, terrorists opened fire, triggering a fierce gunfight. The operation is being jointly conducted by the Indian Army and Jammu and Kashmir Police, showcasing a robust and coordinated counter-terror grid. According to the Army's Chinar Corps, terrorists engaged the forces during the search operation, but troops responded swiftly, turning the ambush into a tactical advantage.
The contact is there with the terrorists, and I'm sure at least 2 to 3 terrorists are going to be eliminated in the encounter. What is required is the area is vast, area is mountainous, So therefore, if there's a combination of technological intelligence and human intelligence shared between police and army, and then an operation is launched, then it results into a good success. So therefore, a combination of intelligence-driven operations where technology plays a good role, human intelligence also plays a good role, results into good success. And this is exactly what is happening in the Ganderbal operations, and also it ensures that the collateral damages to the civilian establishments is also reduced.
This is part of a larger pattern. Just weeks earlier, Indian forces delivered a decisive blow to infiltration attempts in the Uri sector of Baramulla district, an area frequently used by Pakistan-backed terror operatives to infiltrate into Jammu and Kashmir. Acting on precise intelligence inputs, a joint operation was launched on the night of March 14 and 15 in the Butchar area. Troops detected suspicious movement in a thicket and repositioned strategically. When challenged, the infiltrating terrorist opened fire but was swiftly neutralized, marking yet another failed attempt by Pakistan to push terror across the border. Security forces recovered an AK rifle, pistols, and a large quantity of ammunition from the site. Clear evidence of the scale and intent of these infiltration bids. Officials confirmed that search operations continued to ensure complete sanitization of the area.
Infiltration, 95% is being stopped on the LOC. In the hinterland also, regular anti-terrorist operations are carried out by which a large number of terrorists get killed at regular intervals. In fact, Pakistan is able to maintain the temperature of violence in the valley only by infiltrating fresh terrorists. So therefore, terrorism is at an all-time low. There is no doubt on that issue. But Pakistan has to ensure that it remains in limelight. So therefore, it will keep on attempting to infiltrate as many terrorists in Kashmir as possible so that the issue of Kashmir remains alive.
For decades, Pakistan has relied on proxy terror networks to destabilize Jammu and Kashmir. From infiltration attempts along the line of control to arming and guiding terrorists, the pattern remains consistent. However, India's response has evolved, shifting from reactive to proactive intelligence-led operations that neutralize threats before they can escalate. Each encounter, each foiled infiltration and each recovered cache of arms sends a strong message. India is not just defending its borders but actively dismantling the infrastructure of cross-border terrorism. The ongoing operation in Gandarbal is yet another example of this firm and uncompromising approach.
In Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, discontent is mounting over allegations of corruption and administrative bias. In Muzaffarabad, Forest Department employees have taken to the streets, protesting against violations in seniority and promotion processes. The demonstration underscores a broader crisis in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, where workers across sectors are increasingly questioning transparency, fairness, and governance standards.
In Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, a protest demonstration was held outside the central office in Muzaffarabad, where Forest Department employees raised serious concerns over the violation of merit in the seniority list of peons. Workers say deserving employees have been sidelined, with promotions influenced by favoritism rather than fairness. The issue has triggered strong resentment as staff demands recognition of seniority and a transparent, merit-based system.
आज ये जो हड़ताल है, ये एक अलामती हड़ताल है। ये वो लोग आए हुए जो मुतासर हैं। आज हमने इस हड़ताल को इतना कमजोर न समझा जाए कि आप देख रहे होंगे कि शायद ये वो लोग कम हैं। ये लोग कम नहीं, ये वो लोग हैं जिनके साथ सैनिटी में खिलवाड़ किया गया है। इस तरह मेरे दोस्त ने कहा 2004 में और 2002 में भर्ती होने वाले आज वो भीख मांग रहे हैं, वो रिटायरमेंट के करीब है, उनकी उम्र 58 साल हो चुकी है, तो यह 59 साल का हो चुका है, पर उनको हक नहीं दिया गया। वो इसलिए नहीं दिया गया कि यहाँ पे अपने अजीज वर्कआउट को हमेशा प्रमोट किया गया और जो गरीब का बच्चा होता है उसको सिर्फ सन्यासी के पीछे लगाया जाता है।
For these employees, the struggle goes beyond promotions. Forest Department workers who play a vital role in protecting forests and wildlife continue to work under uncertainty and insecurity. Despite their service, they face neglect, lack of recognition, and limited career growth. Employees say this injustice must end, calling for urgent reforms, fair policies, and basic safeguards for those who are interested with preserving the region's natural resources.
जिसमें कुटला भी आता था, जिसमें लछराट भी था, जिसमें डन्ना भी था, तमाम मुजफ्फराबाद का कोटा था। इस कोटे को मजमूआ करके एक मोहल्ले का कोटा बना दिया गया, जिसकी पुरजोर मजम्मत करते हैं, हम नहीं मानते। दूसरी बात, ये जंग इन बेलदारों की है, इन बाचरों की है, अपने इनके हकूक़ के लिए हम आपके साथ खड़े हैं, खड़े रहेंगे हम वक्त, लेकिन इसके लिए आपको भी अपनी कमर बांधनी पड़ेगी, आपको भी हमारे साथ खड़ा होना पड़ेगा अपने हक के लिए। जब तक आप अपने हक के लिए नहीं खड़े होंगे तब तक आपको कोई भी हक नहीं दे सकता।
This protest is not an isolated case but reflects a wider pattern of hardship in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, where people across sectors continue to face corruption, administrative neglect, and lack of accountability. From delayed payments to limited opportunities and weak infrastructure, daily life remains a struggle. Repeated protests highlight growing public frustration as citizens demand systemic reforms and a governance structure that ensures fairness, transparency, and basic dignity.
And with that, we come to the end of this edition of Newsweek South Asia. We'll be back next week with more news, views, and analysis from the subcontinent. Meanwhile, do keep writing to us at nwsa@nin.com. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of the entire team of Newsweek South Asia. Goodbye and take care.